Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. On today's video, I'm going to be using the JRV Decoupage Paper Vintage Halloween. If you want to get inspired to make some fall Halloweeny type projects, stick around. This first project is a frame that I thrifted, and I loved the way it looked already, except the frame was in rough shape and not in a good way. So I just cleaned it up a little bit. Went over this with 2 coats of black velvet paint. I am such a messy maker, as you can see, with this black paint all over my hands today. But I did 2 coats over this, wet distressed it with a baby wipe, and then ended up going over it with Big Top so that there's a little bit of a sheen to it. Now, you guys could recreate this particular project by just getting an old photograph or a piece of decoupage paper. I just love how it's not just the photograph that's a star, it's the frame that goes with it, and it's just a nice little black and white picture of a building, and I think it is a great look. So I included it with these other things just to give you an idea. If you don't find one exactly like this thrifting, just create it yourself by using an old photograph or faking an old photograph, and you have this nice dark moody decor item. I'm just wiping off the DIY paint here and then making sure it's all off before I go over it with Big Top. And when you cover the color black with Big Top, because Big Top is water soluble, it could reactivate the paint. So don't put your brush back in the main container. Have it be in a separate container because you will get a little bit of a black hue. For the rest of the projects in this video, I'm going to use this new to me JRV Decoupage Paper called Vintage Halloween. If you are local, I have this in my booth now, but I thought let's get out some more fall projects, and I am not really known for decorating for Halloween, so a little personal growth here, guys. So you guys know I love my baskets, and I have quite the little collection in my hoard. So I grabbed this one that was a nice little handled basket and went over it with 2 coats of, I believe I used Little Black Dress on this one. I did 2 different colors of black in this video just because I wanted to finish up my Little Black Dress. So I went over it and I made sure I used my water mister. Guys, I don't say this enough. I know a lot of furniture artists know to get the water mister out, but you can use it on your smalls as well. Even in these little areas where I have my Perfectionist DIY paintbrush to get in those little areas, when you spray the mister, that helps move the paint, and you can spray your brush to kind of get into those crevices. Water is your friend with this clay-based paint, and it allows you to have a lot more control. So now I'm going over it with Big Top. Doing a sprayed clear coat is sometimes easier on baskets, but I decided I already had the brush going into the black. So let's try decoupaging onto a drop cloth. So this is part of my drop cloth stash that I have been working on for quite some time. I will have a link in the description below. I got this drop cloth from Amazon, and I am just putting it over the top of the drop cloth, making sure it's all adhered to the fabric, getting air bubbles out, and then going over the top coat. This is my first time decoupaging on a fabric, and I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm going to probably try this again. So I thought I'd make this a nice, cute little neutral basket that you can put in your home, but it's not completely obvious that it's Halloween decor. Now I'm going over the fabric with Titebond, just making sure I have it on the edges and in the center. Then I push it down in there into all the like little crevices, and then I just put a flat wooden box on top of it so that there would not be any curling and it would dry. And I think this one's pretty cute. For project number 3, I'm really going out of my comfort zone here. I had thrifted this faux book container and had it in my stash for quite a bit. And this project could be done on like an old book that you thrift as well, just by painting the cover. So I'm going to paint white in the square where I'm going to put the decoupage paper. I found this creepy-ish little boy. He's not super creepy, but it's creepy enough for me. This is as crazy as I go for Halloween decor. So I'm just doing a starter strip using DIY's Liquid Patina as my decoupage medium. Just moving right down the piece of paper, making sure that I'm getting all the air bubbles out. And after this decoupage paper dries, I am going to paint the rest of the book stack black and just kind of go over these white areas that are overlapping. I wanted to do the white underneath so that this picture would be bright, but I am going for a dark and grungy look on this particular project. Now, the only roping that I have is on this primitive mold. I do not have a lot of IOD mold. So I was like, well, let's just use what I've got. I'm putting cornstarch in the mold, and I'm going to use air dry clay that I had in my stash. And listen, if I had more products, I would totally have picked a bulkier, less cutesy rope to line this picture with, but I am just using what I've got for this project and not coming up with reasons to go buy more craft supplies. You know what I'm saying, guys? I may have made myself do that in the past. So I turn it upside down, I bend the mold and let the clay just come out. Now here is where I got a little rough with it. I was ready to get this project done. I didn't want this to crack, so I thought, well, let's paint it now. But these are very little and very dainty. So they did kind of break, but I went with it. I was like, this is going to be an old looking book. This will be fine. I just wanted to paint them before it got on the book because it is going to be over the picture on that one side, and I wouldn't be able to paint the edges very well. So I paint this whole thing black. I glued the molds down, then I touched up the paint. Then I started looking through my stamp collection. This is Queen Bee. I found a little rope within that, and I don't have any gold ink, so I thought let's just use some gold paint that I have. I'm not looking for perfection here because that's not how I roll. I'm nice and rough around the edges is how I prefer. I like the worn look, so I'm not looking for perfection. I did kind of fix this one side because I didn't put enough paint on it. But I'm just going to go around now and do some fun little touches to this book with the gold paint. I do end up getting out the little knobs stamp set as well, just to add some fun detail. And then the small letters that I have, I got, I think, from Amazon. And I will just let you watch the rest of this. I do end up going over the whole thing with a dark wax to seal it all in, and I'm really happy with how this book turned out. This next one is a pickle jar. I got this with pickles in it. My family ate all the pickles and I thought this would make a really cool DIY project. Now, this saran wrap decoupage paper, painting things white. I saw my friend Sonnet's Garden Blooms do this, and I know that Royce with Roycycled papers does this a lot. Basically, the back side of this gets painted white, and I will show you in the next project how I do it. I forgot to do the video for that part, and I painted this jar 2 coats of letterpress gray. I am putting the Liquid Patina on the back of the decoupage paper, and you can see that I got a little bit of paint, white paint on the front side. I don't know how to not do that part. This is the first time that I'm trying it this way, but I just rolled with it and thought this just makes it look old and weathered, and that is the look I'm going for. So the back side of the paper is painted white so that it is nice and bright. I put Liquid Patina on the back. Now I'm getting it on my jar, making sure it is nice and smooth. And then to keep the sheen of the jar the same, I just, as a top coat, Liquid Patina is also a top coat for DIY paint. So I just covered the whole jar with the same Liquid Patina so it has that nice sheen. Now I'll show you how to paint white on the back of this. Basically, you put down your saran wrap, you take your water mister, and you spray the underside of the paper so that it is damp against the saran wrap. And then you paint the back of it white. Now, both times, the saran wrap is, the wet side is underneath, so I'm trying to figure out how to be more careful. I guess I just need to paint on the paper and not off the paper, right? To not get the white to go on the front side. As I'm watching this, I'm seeing how I made the mess of the front side. Just roll with it, right, guys? So I'm painting the back and letting this dry completely, and that allows the picture to be nice and crisp, and you don't have to paint your project white in order to see it well. After doing a top coat on both of these projects, I did go over the whole thing with just I just unloaded my wax brush. I didn't put any new wax on it. I just basically dry brushed the dark wax all over the project so that it looked nice and vintage. I added some twine on this jar, and what a perfect container to put literal water and live florals in. You know that it's not going to spill. It's a pickle jar, but it would be a great centerpiece for a nice vintage Halloween. Now, the next project that I have in here was just an old tin that I had laying around. I painted it apothecary, did a top coat of Big Top, and then it's just been laying around. So I was like, you need to get a Halloween label so that you can be a done project and out of my it's time to do this pile. You know what I mean, guys? So I think these are really cute and a fun little neutral-ish way to do Halloween and fall decor. This last one may just be my favorite. I found this wooden plaque kind of thing thrifting a while back. It has like all these little holes in it, and this particular picture fit so well inside. In fact, I don't even feel like this picture necessarily is Halloween-y. So I'm going to go with neutral colors, and I'm just taking water along the edge here, and I am going to rip the edge with my fingers so that it is not a sharp, crisp cut. After doing that, I am going to draw out the space where this paper is going to be. I'm going to paint it 2 coats of white paint and then decoupage it on. After it's completely dry, I have just been looking at it. What color do you want to be? What color do you want to be? Do I paint you black? That's a little harsh for me. So I went with Skeleton Key, which is one of my favorite neutrals that reads, it's one of those chameleon colors that reads blue in some rooms, gray in some rooms with lighting and other colors. So I went with it and I did 2 coats of that, wet distressed it so you could see these little details on the plaque. And I think this is so precious. I am going to go over it with just a clear wax, and this one might be staying with me. I feel like this is such a precious little picture, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So what did you guys think? Did you have a favorite? My favorite for sure is this girl. She is going to be staying with me. I don't know, there's something just so precious about it. I know it is not traditional Halloween decor, but it is something that I just can't stop looking at. So that's so fun when you can create something like that. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite item was, and if you got inspired to make something for your own home or to resell. A little update on my website. Guys, I was ready to hit publish on Monday. I have all my DIY products uploaded. We figured out the shipping and the sales tax. And then the person helping me noticed that the day before it got 5,000 hits from another country, and she is having my hosting site look into it. It appears that there's some malware, and it's not even an active site. Good gracious. It has been so discouraging, but I'm going to keep trucking forward and hope soon to be able to sell my DIY products to you on my website. Once I get that up and going, I can add some items like these JRV papers and stencils and just all that fun stuff. So I am still working on that. I appreciate everyone who said that they would support me, for your patience. Goodness gracious, it is a process. And as my friend said, I am a one-man band, or I'm going to say a one-woman band, and I am figuring out how to play each of these instruments as the song progresses. And she said, thankfully, you've got some people that want to listen to your music, which is you guys. So I am absolutely thankful for each and every one of you for being here. If you are not already subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting that notification so you get updated every time I upload a new video. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite is and how you're crushing it this fall season. Guys, I know that we have a lot on our plates with kids back to school or getting back into the swing of things. And I just wanted to remind you, man, I am crushing this website thing, even though it feels like it's getting me down some days. But you know what? I'm still going, so I am crushing it. I am not giving up. And maybe that is the way that you're crushing it this week as well. Don't forget to create for yourself this week and feed that creative soul. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.